What do you understand by equality, Sophie? What does it mean to you?
Freedom.
What's going on, guys? Hey, welcome to the men's room. We've got a great video here today. We have actually 3 separate videos, one from Turning Point USA, the other one from Dr. Jordan Peterson, and the other one is from the Fresh and Fit podcast, where we continue to see the same responses and rebuttals over and over again to a constant notion in the gender wage gap as to why women earn less than men. So without further ado, let's get it started. Enjoy.
I'm interested in people being able to have different choices and having equality of outcome.
Well, so you're going to have choices and equality of outcome. What if people choose different things, which is what they've been doing in Scandinavia? So the Scandinavian countries have moved more towards gender equality than any other countries, and the personality differences in Scandinavia have increased rather than decreased, and the proportion of women who are choosing STEM fields has decreased rather than increased. So as cultures become more gender neutral, the number of women who choose STEM fields decreases.
What do you mean by STEM fields?
So science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So if you let men and women make their choices, what actually happens is that they specialize in different situations, and you don't get equality of outcome.
Could they not have been programmed to have those views from the moment we raise them and give boys Lego and construction?
No, because what happens is...
And there it is right there. Could they have not have been programmed? We were raised that way to have those certain types of beliefs that will cause them to make certain decisions later on in life, which of course would affect their choices to major in a certain course, major in a certain degree when they attend college.
That as countries get more egalitarian, which means there's less programming of that sort, the differences get larger, not smaller. And the scientific data on that is clear, and most of it was generated by people who have a left-leaning bias, so you can't blame it on conservative scientists. It was a shock to everyone to find that out.
So my question is basically, what do you think are the causes of this?
It doesn't exist.
Well, there is a cause for it. I'll tell you what it is.
And do you think there should be public measures to tackle it? And the causes and the public reaction.
Fair question. So I get it all the time because obviously I'm like the anti-feminist. So people are always like, how can you deny the gender, the wage gap? Okay. So when I went to university, all of the girls that I was friends with were majoring in fashion and textiles and merchandising. And they all went off to intern at Vogue. And pick out Prada bags that maybe Kate Moss would wear on the cover of something. The average pay for that, if you want to be in fashion when you get out of school, is $20,000. Men were majoring in business and engineering and things that when you get out of school, you get paid more. If our interests, if we're going to go in and we're not going to be taking serious majors, and we're shocked when we find out the world doesn't need more people to pick out Prada bags for Kate Moss's shoot. I mean, that's not a gender wage gap. That's an interest gap, right? And that's what's happening. Also, women, we have different interests. Women aspire to get married, they aspire to have children. They leave the workforce earlier. Every single one of my girlfriends, what I'm saying is that a person that is a brain surgeon should not get paid the same amount as a person that wants to pick out Prada bags for the rest of her life. I mean, this is what's going on in America. When you look at the wage gap, they're not telling you what the jobs actually are and what women are going into in terms of their majors in university. When you're taking feminist dance class 101, you're not going to make 6 figures when you go out of university. That's just the truth. And women, if there was a real feminist movement, would talk about that, would say, hey, if you want to make as much as men, maybe we should be majoring in engineering and things like that, but we don't because we have different interests, which is fine. But you then can't complain and think that we should now have a society that forces, what are we going to do? Are we going to have like a government that says now we have to pay women that want to go into fashion 6 figures to make them feel good and like they're doing things that are productive in society?
Elaborate on this because I would tend to disagree about the biologically part of the, for instance, woman, you say the gender gap doesn't exist and that woman would be more inclined to do a fashion degree rather than a business degree. And
women and men are different, yes.
I'm going to say some things that you probably hate, an expression you hate, but social construct.
And we have evidence of this though. Look at the Scandinavian countries.
There it is again, social constructs. We were molded that way. We were raised that way, programmed that way. Plus, you could just tell how pretentious of an answer that is from the guy's kind of tone of voice and his facial expression and his body language as he leaned in when he said that phrase, social construct, is so ridiculous.
You're like, oh, but there's a wage gap. But then you said...
Because the wage gap implies that women aren't being treated fairly. What I'm saying is that it's not that women aren't being treated fairly. It's that women choose to work less. Women choose to earn less money, period, by their life choices.
Is it a choice?
There's more women in college now.
Or is it part of our, like, role
Can you let me
as
finish,
a woman?
please? Can you let me? I was going to actually answer your question right now.
Okay.
Women choose to work jobs that make less money. There's more women in college now than ever before. Women choose these careers that pay less. The top 10 careers that make the least money are female-dominated. Top 10 jobs that are that make the most money are male-dominated. Science, math, and STEM. And engineering and tech. That's where the money is. Women choose not to go in those careers.
Okay,
and on
but
top
why
of that, women
is
dominate
that?
college.
Why?
By choice.
That's not by choice.
Okay.
How are
I
you going to
think
sit
it's
there?
a bit of
Women
a
like
social
didn't even
economic
get to vote
construct.
until like 50 years later than men. Like literally throughout history.
When you
like,
go to college, who declares the major? You, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's your choice.
I think
No,
we should
it's
say
not by
it's
choice.
deeper
There's so
than
much
that.
more. That's what I'm saying. There's just so much more like deeper than what you're saying.
Wait, hold on. No.
It's just like how women get
We're in
taught
a
to
fucking bizarre
love.
world. So you're telling me that you guys didn't choose your careers, you were forced into your careers that
No,
so
but we're
happen to pay you less?
molded. We're molded.
Correct.
Molded?
Yeah. Let me just give you an example, right? When we're kids,
And there it is again. We are molded that way. I found the following meme, actually, that will demonstrate exactly how women can be molded to choose a certain job, if you will. Let's just say that this notion of to be programmed or raised or molded a certain way is actually true. We could then argue the question, well, who raises kids in our culture in the States? Who are the majority of babysitters? Who's the majority of school teachers, librarians, daycare workers? I mean, the list goes on. Yes, it's women. Women are the majority of people who raise our kids. And yet, if we use this rebuttal of who raises the kids and we illustrate that it's the women, that's when we start to hear the shaming tactics of you hate women, you hate all women. So obviously the video of Dr. Jordan Peterson and the Scandinavian studies are arguably accurate, but either which response to who raises the kids, or if you discuss the Scandinavian studies, either reply is met with some sort of discontent typically.
as a woman or as a female child, you're taught like, here's Barbies, here's cute things. Be a girl, you're so pretty. Oh, look cute. As a boy, you're like, go play in the mud. Go learn how to build this little bridge. You do get taught different things. It's not exclusive, but it is a thing. I
Agree with each other. The people here agreeing with you, so you can't really be like, oh, we all agree with each other because we're women. No, all these people are also agreeing with you guys.
Here's the thing. We're making these stances based on fact. Like I told you, women. There's a bunch of reasons why women get paid less than men, but that is a big reason that men tend to fight for higher wages than women do.
Because they feel like they can, because that is what women have been told their whole lives, to cross their legs, to take up less space. Like, these things literally follow you throughout your entire life. So of course, like when you have two different jobs and the woman ends up getting less because she can't argue her point, why is that?
No,
because
she can.
there's so many generational gone on. Like,
She can, but it's just that, like I said,
But she doesn't,
women are less
exactly.
likely to do it. But whose
Right.
choice is that, though?
It's a woman's choice.
Hey, see how it
You're
always goes
literally-
back to the woman's choice?
but it's not a choice when you literally don't even know that you're able to do something. Like, you're talking
And again, back to the same idea of how we were taught to do something, even though we can also make the reply that, well, if women are strong, independent, and empowered, then they can definitely think for themselves. But we're going to leave it here for today's video. Thank you for your time in the men's room as always. Until next time, stay aware, stay sharp.